The 4th of July is usually celebrated as the Philippine-American Friendship Day. It is a dual celebration marking the granting of our independence by the Americans after their 45 years of occupation, and it is also the celebration of Independence Day from British rule by the United States of America. There is a reason to pause and reflect on the significance of this day, especially in the light of the growing tension in our region, where America, as an ally, remains steadfast in its presence and influence as several Southeast Asian nations face the looming power of mainland China that has recently redrawn its territorial map.
The Spanish Empire surrendered control of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Spanish West Indies, Guam, and the Philippine Archipelago to the United States of America on December 10, 1898, upon the signing of the Treaty of Paris and the payment of $20 million from America to Spain. The treaty took effect on April 11, 1899. Two of the largest military bases of the United States outside their mainland were established in our country, the Clark Air Force Base and the Subic Naval Base. Several subsequent smaller bases in strategic locations were likewise installed. In the Second World War, Manila was bombed by the Japanese simultaneous with that of Pearl Harbor because we were an American colony where their bases were located. But America was also engaged in Europe, fighting Nazi Germany, and their failure to defend our country when we were attacked resulted in the Japanese occupation of our islands for close to 5 years. The call for Patriots summoned Filipinos to fight alongside the Americans when the liberation of our country was finally launched. The biggest military naval battle was fought in the Pacific side of our islands, culminating in the historic Leyte landing of General Douglas MacArthur on the beaches of Tacloban. Finally, a year after the end of the war, on July 4, 1945, the United States of America granted us our independence. We celebrate this day with no little amount of nostalgia and pain because of the length of time it has taken the American Congress to release payment for our war veterans who fought under the American flag during the Second World War. Nonetheless, despite this crease, our country's leadership has remained loyal and aligned with the interests of America in both our country and in the region. But the complexion of our politics after February 1986 and a natural catastrophe dramatically challenged the continued occupation of the American bases in our country. The Senate voted to remove the bases, and shortly thereafter, the devastating volcanic eruption of Mount Pinatubo forced the Americans to evacuate the bases post-haste. The landscape American military presence acquired a different color in lieu of the bases. We now have joint military exercises and an enhanced arrangement for the temporary use of several functional bases throughout the country by American soldiers. Today, the theater of geopolitics has moved its stage within our waters. The insistent presence of the People's Republic of China continues to threaten the little islands of our sovereign territories, where underneath rests the vast resources of oil. The call for Patriots summons us to defend the integrity of our islands and shorelines as an archipelago, not as an act of war, but as an act of patriotism for the land of our birth, as you and I can decisively claim, I am a Filipino. For the People's Television Network, this is Freddie Abando report.